Today marks a new effort to address the homeless crisis around town. Thanks for joining us here on this Tuesday at 6 a.m. I'm Eric Connert.
And I'm Dana Marie McNichol in for Netta Arampur. Construction begins this morning on a new tent shelter. We have CBS 8's Chris Groh live in the Midway District with what we can expect. Good morning, Chris.
Hey, good morning, Dana Marie. And this is going to be going up right here behind us, and it's going to serve about 150 unsheltered San Diegans. So this will, again, help get them off the streets and also connect them with services. Now, for those of you familiar, maybe even unfamiliar with this area, we want to let you know where this is. We're just off of Rosecrans by the county's behavioral health and science area. This is just right by the county psychiatric hospital. So there are going to be set up again with services, both medical and other services that help them either connect to jobs or maybe even more permanent shelters. Now, the regional task force here in San Diego went ahead and released their results from their February homeless count just recently, but it was the first one conducted in 2 years. And the numbers we saw, the report counted 8,427 homeless people in San Diego. That's up 10% since 2020, at least 10%. We also know that this Midway area in particular has had issues, series of tents and encampment lined the Sports Arena Boulevard back in February, and we know that the city had to deal with that and also the businesses there. So this is going to kind of help the area here with this issue. But again, it's not likely it is going to be a massive help. 150 beds when we're talking about 8,000 people unsheltered here in the city of San Diego. So as we move forward, we will be hearing from those involved in this, the County of San Diego, the City of San Diego, as well as the Lucky Duck Foundation, about this effort, but also what more can be done here in the city of San Diego when it comes to unsheltered individuals. Eric and Dana Marie.
Well, thank you, Chris, for that update. Today marks 1 week since a gunman killed 19 students and 2 teachers at Robb Elementary School in Uvalde, Texas.
Funerals for some of the victims began this morning. Meantime, in Washington, lawmakers are once again trying to find compromises on the gun control debate. Bradley Blackburn has the latest.
Funerals will be held today for 2 of the victims of last week's school shooting. Amory Jo Garza and Maite Rodriguez, both just 10 years old, were killed in their classroom 1 week ago. Maite's cousin says the 4th grader dreamed of becoming a marine biologist.
I just know in that moment she was brave. She was telling people where to hide.
Visitation was held yesterday for the girls at this funeral home, just steps from Robb Elementary. That's where the gunman initially began shooting before his attack on the school.
She looks amazing. She has this pretty white dress. That casket, she looks like nothing happened to her. She looks like she died at peace. We all know the reality.
In Washington, the debate over gun control continues. A bipartisan group of senators is meeting over Zoom today to search for common ground.
I've been pretty motivated all along.
President Biden hopes the latest tragedies will help convince more Republicans to come to the bargaining table. Bradley Blackburn, CBS News.
One of the proposals for gun control, so-called red flag laws, which would allow courts to temporarily take firearms away from someone determined to be a risk to themselves or others. San Diego has been a leader in this area. Under a red flag law, a family member, coworker, educator, or employer can request a gun violence restraining order if they're concerned about someone who has access to a firearm.
When you have a ready access to a gun, it's very, very, very easy to do something lethal very fast. And if you pull that away, it's much harder for them to take an action that everybody's going to regret afterwards.
Meantime, Republican Congressman Dan Crenshaw from Texas is already voicing his opposition to gun violence restraining orders.
What you're essentially trying to do with the red flag law is enforce the law before the law has been broken.
As bipartisan negotiations continue, the House of Representatives is expected to vote on a red flag bill as early as next week.
And new video this morning of drivers taking over a Mission Valley intersection doing dangerous stunts within inches of spectators. Now take a listen to the 911 dispatcher describing it.
Several another RP says they're doing donuts. There's a lot of spectators on the freeway overpass. At least 100 vehicles involved, and kids are in the middle of the cars doing donuts. And they're lighting fireworks.
Well, this happened around 7 Sunday night. Police say there were 100 people blocking off Camino de la Reina at Hotel Circle. Some even stopped to watch above on the off-ramp on the 8 freeway. While the drivers were performing donuts, things got out of control and someone got hit by a car. When police arrived, everyone took off, including the person who was hurt. 2 people have been detained.
This morning, President Biden is getting ready to meet with the Federal Reserve Chair to talk about inflation. This comes as prices continue to rise for everything from gasoline to housing and food.
Supply has been hurt by extreme weather that's lowered crop yields. Labor costs are up. The war in Ukraine has disrupted supply. So all of these different factors adding to the cost of living.
Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell has come under fire for a slow response to the inflation crisis, but the Fed has signaled aggressive interest rate hikes are coming to address the issue. This morning, gas prices at a new record high here in San Diego. Again, the price for a gallon of regular, $6.08. That is up a cent from yesterday. The average price has hit a record for 4 consecutive days now. Right now, we are paying $1 more compared to just a month ago. This morning, airlines are trying to recover after thousands of cancellations and delays over the long holiday weekend. Much of it was due to weather and staffing issues. Experts say the weekend was a huge test for airlines for 3 reasons. 1, it comes as more people are returning to air travel. 2, this marks the first major travel rush without a mask mandate. And 3, it comes at a time when airlines are canceling flights because they're facing major worker shortages. Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg says airlines must take action to keep up with all of those challenges.
Now, faster than expected, the demand has come roaring back, and they are struggling to keep up. That's true whether we're talking about flight attendant crews, whether we're talking about pilots. And so we've got to make sure that we have short-term and long-term approaches.
One of those short-term solutions, Delta Airlines proactively canceling flights in the month of July, slashing about 100 flights a day from its schedule.
This morning, people in the Midwest are cleaning up after an outbreak of severe weather. Now, take a look at some of the damage in Minnesota. Some of these towns were hit by a possible tornado that damaged or destroyed dozens of homes. More than 1 million people in Minnesota were under a tornado watch, which is actually really rare in this region. Tens of thousands of people are still without power.
Came right through our garage, hit it. Luckily, it didn't hit any of our house.
Sioux Falls, South Dakota also saw some damage. Uprooted trees crashed through homes and crushed cars. Those severe storms are making their way east, predicting to stretch from as far as north as Michigan all the way down into Texas. Well, as that part of the country has severe weather, we have pretty mild conditions, Evan. I mean, yesterday was absolutely amazing.
We always luck out. It's like every time we talk about severe weather in other parts of the country and we're like, here, well, it's
70
looking really nice. Yeah, exactly, right? So we're hanging out in that same range. And hey, 70 and sunny, not just today, really every day for this week is where we see those 70s along the coastline. Coastline is very stagnant out there. We've got a ridge of high pressure building overhead, and as it does so, it's going to keep us blocked out from any possibility of severe weather or wet weather even at that. So here's the forecast for the day. Couple coastal clouds as we start off the morning. We're mostly under those cloudy skies. Temperatures largely in the upper 50s and low 60s. 70 is that forecast high along the coast this afternoon. 77 inland, 69 across the mountaintops, and 98 for your deserts. Walking out the door right now, bring the jacket along with you. We're mild out there though, upper 50s along your inland valleys. Couple 40s that you can spot for Alpine and Campo, for example, and then right along the greater coastline, we're at about 60 degrees as you head outside. Clouds are going to break apart pretty quickly if they haven't already. Cloud layer is extending from your coast inland, not quite as expansive as mornings prior to today, and now as we round out the month of May, we likely will start to see a little bit of June gloom in the pattern for about Friday through Sunday, but until then, really, between now and Thursday, we're going to have conditions like this. A lot more sunshine, couple clouds that will join us through the morning, but they'll break apart pretty easily and pretty quickly. And again, you can thank that ridge of high pressure overhead. As it builds, temperatures are going to climb, skies are going to clear out quite a bit, blocks us out from any wet weather, but Following its departure on Thursday, right off to the east of us, by Friday, this trough of low pressure is going to sink in and give us a good chance for some cooler temperatures and cloudier skies for the weekend. Let's take a look at what's going on in traffic this morning. It is 6:10 right now, and we've got a couple things to take you to. So first off, I want to take you all the way up to a crash that just took place on the La Jolla Village Drive exit of the 805 southbound. No major backups in that area. CHP on scene. This crash just cleared on the 94 eastbound at Federal Boulevard. That was in place seconds ago, so it looks like CHP got to it very quickly, cleared it relatively fast as well. Also wanted to take you to the Coronado Bridge. There are no crashes here on the Coronado Bridge, but wanted to point out at least that volume is already starting to pick up on both the 5 southbound and northbound, trying to go toward that Coronado Bridge, so the 75 there, and then all the way across. You're going to run into those single-digit speeds as many people are going to be alongside you. So we'll keep you up to date. Right now, don't have any specific reason beyond volume as to why those lanes are so slow, but it does seem like this is that time of the morning, 6:11, where we do start to see that high volume on the Coronado Bridge. So just a heads up as you head outside. Back to you.